This one's wife. POW wounds TOW. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. This one's wife believes herself to be beautiful, talented, intelligent, fascinating. She believes the world revolves around her. She cannot stand that other people receive praise, attention, admiration, adoration. It gets to her. This is the daily burden that she faces. That where somebody's attention is directed away from her, she is wounded. Immediately, her narcissism must spring into life to try and defend her. How dare somebody not want to talk to her? Why would they want to talk to somebody else? Oh, just because it's that person's birthday, why do you have to make a song and dance about them and not her? Oh, just because this person's received an award, why does everybody have to give them the attention and not her? Oh, just because the royal family are doing something, why does everybody have to talk about them? They should be talking about her. With each and every instance where this one's wife finds that the attention, i.e. the fuel, is going somewhere else other than to her, it causes a problem for her and wounds her. This is what she has to deal with on a daily basis. This is what her narcissism is designed to address. It doesn't feel like a huge burden for her. I know to many of you listening, you would think, gosh, what an exhausting existence that she has. But it would seem exhausting to you because it's not natural to you. But for her, this goes on like a background app. Her narcissism functions, directing her to take action, to seek that control, to draw fuel from people. That's what it does. In the way that a shark swims through the water and eats things, she functions in this way. This is what she's designed to do. Of course, her narcissism doesn't always get it right. So there will be instances where she feels that vulnerability, that weakness. She explodes with fury, or she sits there seething with cold fury. There'll be instances where she suffers many collateral consequences, although of course she never regards it as her fault. It's just that the world is against her, that the universe isn't doing what she wants, that somebody is being a traitor, and it's unfair. When attention goes elsewhere, her narcissism drives her to do something to nullify that threat that's caused by that attention going elsewhere. It means that she, in the simple terms, let us say in home environment, she might smash a plate so that everybody then has to turn and look at her. Job done. Control is obtained over the people that are around her, and they've responded to her, giving her fuel. Attention is back on her. The wounding has stopped. It might be to fall to the floor sobbing in order to elicit a pathetic pity play so that Harry comes rushing over saying, "It's all right, my little pumpkin. I'll sort you out." Once again, he demonstrates that he's under control and he provides her with fuel. Of course, she's not always able to do that when the public are around. The facade management light flashes on that console of her narcissism, meaning that certain manipulations are off limits. Of course, there is sometimes the tension between those manipulations and the facade management, and we've seen numerous instances where the facade has cracked. It is particularly difficult for her in relation to the British royal family because they are well publicised. Not only is it the case that this one's wife has a watching brief on them because they are viewed as the enemy, but there's plenty of reportage about them, meaning that it's regularly brought to her attention what they are doing, with the consequence that she suffers repeated woundings. This is particularly the case in relation to the nemesis. And, as Charlie Parker reports in The Times, Princess of Wales to host Christmas Eve carol service. The Princess of Wales, despite the attempts of this one's wife to smear her in relation to the racist royal row, has been kicking ass as of late. not reacting to the provocations of this one's wife, which will have her infuriated because she stands there, stamping that cloven hoof. Notice me! Acknowledge me! Fists balled, thumping them onto a granite tabletop in the Monty Shit Show kitchen as she stamps a cloven hoof, demanding that she be acknowledged, demanding that she be recognised. And the failure of the royal family, and in particular the nemesis, to respond to her wounds her all the more. She provokes, she prods, she tries to get that reaction, and none is forthcoming. Thus, that is a problem for her, and thus she is wounded, because there's a failure to respond to what she wants. Furthermore, it gets worse for her. Catherine steps out, showing a rather fine leg. The world goes gaga over it. Catherine plays tennis, showing off again toned legs. The world approves. Catherine turns up at the diplomatic corps reception, looking elegant, with people looking on at her, full of rapt admiration. All of this, the faultless adherence to service, is sending this one's wife into a spin. She can't help but look at it, because her narcissism drives her to do so. And when she sees the nemesis looking elegant, performing her duties, being praised, receiving positive press, it wounds her again, because her narcissism is telling her that should be you. You should be the next Queen of England. You should have got William. You should be the one that is being praised by the world's media. She doesn't realise that she could have got something similar to that if she'd have just behaved herself, because, of course, that would mean an acknowledgement that she's somehow at fault, and the narcissism will never allow her to do that. Instead, it's everybody else's fault that she's not been able to have that role. I was driven out because of racists. I was driven out because the UK media used the N-word in relation to my children, which, of course, is patent nonsense. I was driven out because the Brits are swivel-eyed, foam-flecked-mouthed bigots with pitchforks and torches who wanted to burn the person of colour from the United States. Again, utter tripe. But that's what her narcissism tells her through that distortion field. You were hard done to. You're the victim. You're the victim. You're the victim. And thus, when she becomes infuriated as she sees the Princess of Wales kicking ass and taking names, rather than her think to herself, I could have had something similar to that, but I fucked it up, didn't I? All that happens is she seethes with envy at what she sees and blames other people for the fact that she didn't achieve it. The Princess of Wales will host a carol service at Westminster Abbey on Christmas Eve, dedicated to the carers of babies and young children. Boom, boom. Landing the blows again. Hosting a carol service. It's Christmas time. And the cherry on top of the cake, it's dedicated to the carers of babies and young children. Maximum empath points being scored. The event, supported by the Royal Foundation and linked to Catherine's Shaping Us campaign, will feature poignant readings by celebrities, as well as performances by famous musicians and the Abbey's world-renowned choir. Shits all over whatever this one's wife might be planning. The organisers said it will recognise those who have gone above and beyond to help others throughout the year and showcase why it is so important to build supportive, nurturing worlds around children and the adults in their lives. The theme of the evening is a celebration of the golden opportunity that the birth of a new baby brings. In a television broadcast on ITV on Thursday evening, the Princess asked the public to join me this Christmas Eve for a special carol service as we say a heartfelt thank you to all those supporting the very youngest members of our society during those crucial early years. Or in other words, all this shit that she's been throwing at me in relation to racism hasn't affected me in the slightest. So, Up yours, This One's Wife. Combining traditional and modern elements to encompass people of all faiths and none, the service will feature the Westminster Abbey Choir performing carols alongside musical performances by guests including Jacob Collier, Freya Ridings and James Bay, plus a duet from Beverley Knight and Adam Lambert. The Prince of Wales, the actors Michael Ward and Jim Broadbent and the presenters Emma Willis and Ronan Kemp will give readings, while a specially commissioned poem written by Joseph Collerho, the Children's Laureate, will be read by Leonie Elliott of TV's Call the Midwife. Sustainably made festive decorations will provide a Christmas backdrop, while children are invited to send handmade Christmas cards in a special postbox outside the venue. Films about the joy of early childhood will feature in the broadcast and include contributions from Rio and Kate Ferdinand, rugby's Ugo Monnier, Andrea and Virginia Bocelli, and Dame Sheila Hancock. Guests have been nominated by Lord Lieutenants nationwide in addition to charities associated with members of the royal family. They will be joined by a number of people who work with children. The Princess's Carol service will be broadcast as part of Royal Carols Together at Christmas, airing on Christmas Eve at 7:45 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX. There she is, out there, organising with the foundation the Carol concert, which is going on national television. It's chock full of wholesomeness, isn't it? Even I, as the cynical, narcissistic psychopath, have learned what all of those signals are in terms of the empathicness that surrounds her. And it's precisely the type of thing that This One's Wife would want to be doing, but she's not. The nemesis is instead. And thus, this causes substantial wounding with this announcement to This One's Wife, no doubt meaning that another set of cutlery is going to have to be purchased in Monty Shit Show. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.